Hello friends. In this session we'll talk about the torque in an induction motor. The torque in an induction motor is produced in the rotor itself, and this torque is different under different condition. That is, under starting the torque is different, and at the time of running, or I can say full load, the torque is different. So as I said, this torque is dependent on the rotor circuit. That is, the torque produced by the induction motor is proportional to E2 dash I2 dash into cos of phi 2 dash, where E2 dash is the standstill rotor EMF per phase, then I2 dash is the rotor current per phase, and cos of phi 2 dash is the rotor power factor. The figure A represents the equivalent per phase circuit of the rotor, consisting of a rotor resistance R2, rotor reactance at a standstill X2 dash, then rotor induced EMF at a standstill E2 dash, and the rotor current. Also, the figure B represents the impedance triangle, consisting of the R2, the horizontal component, then SX2, the vertical component or the perpendicular component, and the Z2 dash, which is impedance, which is a diagonal component. So based on this, we'll derive the torque under running condition. So this torque equation we can write as torque is proportional to phi into I2 dash into cos of phi 2 dash, where this E2 dash is proportional to phi, and here the phi is the rotating magnetic field. Being the rotor EMF is produced due to rotating magnetic field, so it is proportional to it. So we can replace this E2 dash by phi. Now in next step, this we're going to put the value of I2 dash as E2 dash upon Z2 dash, where E2 dash is again the EMF and Z2 dash is the impedance of the rotor circuit. Similarly, cos of phi 2 dash is the power factor, which is given by the formula R2 upon Z2 dash. So this formula we have derived from this impedance triangle. If we take the cos of this angle, we can write it is R2 upon Z2. Similarly, in the next step, we're going to put the value of Z2 dash, that is, this Z2 dash is equal to under root of R2 square plus X2 dash square. That is, the impedance is equal to the vector sum of the resistance and the reactance. Furthermore, we can put the value of E2 dash as S times of E2, as well as this X2 dash we can put as S times of X2 here in this equation, because they are the slip dependent. So finally we can write this expression furthermore as TR is equal to K into phi into SE2 into R2, this is numerator, divided by R2 square plus SX2 square, where K is the proportionality constant. And furthermore, we can replace this phi by E2 in this equation to get this particular equation. So finally, we arrive across this equation number 1. This is nothing but the torque of an induction motor under running condition, where this is the value of K constant, which is equal to 3 upon 2 pi ns, and this is the furthermore quantities, where again the ns we can represent it as 2f upon p, which is nothing but a synchronous speed in rps, that is revolution per second. In the next step, we can say this equation 1 we can replace in some another manner, or we can rewrite this equation number 1 some another way. This E2, as I said, it is produced because of the rotating magnetic field phi, and this rotating magnetic field produced because of the supply voltage V, and which is remain constant. So I can say in this equation the E2 value is remain constant. So this equation 1 we can rewrite to get this particular equation number 2 as TR is equal to K2 times of SR2 divided by R2 square plus SX2 square, where K2 is some another constant. So this equation is required to prove the condition for maximum torque. So now we'll discuss about the maximum torque under running condition. That is, we're going to derive at what condition we are getting a maximum torque at a running condition. So to get this maximum torque under running condition, we can differentiate this previous equation number 2 with respect to slip and equate that result to 0. So here is this equation number 2. So in this equation, the slip terminal or terminology, it is to be present in the numerator as well as in the denominator itself. So it's like a derivative of u by v function. So we are going to write this expression as dTr upon ds is equal to 0, and we can write or we can take a derivative of this equation number 2 which is in the previous slide with respect to slip. So this K2 is a remain constant and this is the numerator term containing the slip term into derivative of the numerator term minus the numerator term as it is and derivative of denominator term divided by the square of the denominator term. So on solving, we come to the final conclusion that this R2 being equal to S times of X2. So this is what we are getting the maximum torque under this condition. So to get a maximum torque under running condition, the condition is like this: the rotor resistance is equal to slip times of standstill rotor reactance. So that is R2 is equal to S times of X2. Till now we have discussion about this running torque and its condition for maximum torque under running condition. Now we'll see about the starting torque. So once we calculated the running torque and its equation, so it is very easy to find out the starting torque as well as the condition for maximum torque at the starting. So if we recall the equation number 1, which is nothing but the torque under running condition, that is TR is nothing but 3 upon 2 pi ns into E2 square S into R2 divided by R2 square plus SX2 square. So this is equation number 1. So you have to refer this equation number 1. So in that equation, if we going to put slip is equal to 1, because at the time of starting the slip is 1 because the rotor is at a standstill condition, that is rotor is at a stop condition. So actual speed of the rotor is 0. So by formula of slip we can get the slip value as a 1. So based on this we can rewrite this equation number 1 as TST is equal to 3 upon 2 pi ns into E2 square R2 divided by R2 square plus X2 square, which is equation number 4. This equation number 4 represent the equation for starting torque. So based on the similar condition as like the running torque, we can derive the maximum torque under starting condition. We derive one formula for condition under maximum torque, that is R2 is equal to S times of X2. So here also if we are going to put in this equation, if we are going to put S is equal to 1, so that we are getting R2 is equal to X2, because again At the time of starting, slip is 1. So this is what the condition for a starting torque, that is a maximum. So here we can say to get a maximum starting torque, rotor resistance per phase which is equal to standstill rotor reactance per phase. So here with this we found the expression for starting torque as well as the running torque and the condition under for which we are getting a maximum torque. Now we derive certain relationship between this running torque, starting torque and the maximum torque. So equation number 2 we can rewrite. So you refer this equation number 2 from the previous slide. So we can write the TR is equal to, which is equal to TFL, which is proportional to SR2 divided by R2 square plus SX2 square. This is equation number 5. Now if we are going to put S is equal to 1 in equation number 5, we can get the equation number 6, that is TST, which is the starting torque. TST is proportional to R2 square divided by R2 square plus X2 square. So this equation number 6. Now in this equation number 6, if we are going to put the value of R2 is equal to X2, so we are getting a maximum torque, which is now proportional to X2 divided by X2 square plus X2 square. So on solving, we find equation number 7 as T max is proportional to 1 upon 2x2. Now based on this equation number 5, 6 and 7, we are going to derive certain relationships. First we'll take the ratio of maximum torque to full load torque. So this maximum torque we can write from equation number 7 and the full load torque we can write from equation number 6. And if we take a ratio and on solving, we are coming to this particular final conclusion that T max upon TFL is equal to A square plus S square upon 2AS, where we are going to put the value of A as R2 divided by X2. So keep it in mind, this is not the condition for maximum torque. So that is something else. So here our assumption is A is equal to R2 divided by S2. On the similar manner, if we take the ratio of the maximum torque to the starting torque, we can get this relationship, that is equal to A square plus 1 divided by 2A. Or I can say, if in this equation we are going to keep S value equal to 1, we are coming across this particular conclusion. So here with this, we have a brief discussion about the starting torque, running torque and the maximum torque under both the condition, as well as the relationship between all these different torque. Thank you.